All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. We've got some more football stuff to talk about here. This one is definitely something that affects the entire league, but the entire league includes the Seahawks. So let's definitely process this and let's definitely understand what this really means. So I completely forgot about this because of all the craziness of yesterday with that story getting released by ESPN about the Seahawks potentially being sold or the process of them being sold starting this offseason. But earlier in the day, we got this from the NFL, and it was reported by a bunch of different people. I got a tweet from Pelissaro here. The NFL informed the teams yesterday of the projected 2026 salary cap. The teams and the league doesn't actually know what the cap will be until they get kind of close to the league year starting. So we learned an estimate yesterday. All right, everybody, before we go any further into this video, I want to take a minute to tell you guys about the Sleeper app. We are just about to the Super Bowl. Now would be a great time to get on Sleeper. It's a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. Celebrate and chat about sports in real time with other users. You can get scores, you can get news, you get alerts with blazing fast speed, all kinds of sports stuff. You can play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. Enjoy sports together with a community. Download the Sleeper app today. And when you do, use promo code SBN for up to $100 match on your first deposit. And also, utilize the free $20 entry with no deposit required. All you have to do is make an account for that one. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper and have some fun with sports this year. So the estimated 2026 salary cap for each NFL team is going to be somewhere between 301.2 million and 305.7 million. So understand that the salary cap per team this year or for the 2025 season was 279.2. So that is a jump of up to what, 26.5 million more, something like that. Could be a little bit less, of course, but it is still a pretty significant jump. And just 4 years ago, the salary cap was 208.2. So this is almost 100 million more. It's significant. Now, I want to talk about what this really means and make sure that we all have an understanding of it. It is assumed that the salary cap is going to go up every year. Like that's built into projections that pretty much everybody that does this for a living makes. There's no world where a site like Spotrac or Over the Cap was thinking the cap would stay stagnant in 2026. So anything that you've read over the last several months projecting salary cap space for 2026, don't think that you have to like ignore it and throw it out the window now because, oh, it doesn't matter because the cap went way up. No, those projections probably took growth like this into consideration. Like we're talking about a what, less than 10% bump from 2025. I think it's like 9.5% approximately. Maybe it could go up to about 10%. That was assumed. So the numbers that you're going to see going forward when projecting cap space are not radically different than they were before. Now, that doesn't change the fact that the Seahawks remain in an excellent position. And you go to the over the cap salary cap space page where they have an estimated amount of salary cap space for each team, assuming a $303.5 million salary cap, which is basically right in the middle of these two numbers. In fact, I think it basically is right in the middle. Then you will see the Seahawks are doing phenomenally well. They have nearly $75 million in cap space. You look at these other teams that have a lot of cap space, they're mostly the worst teams in the league. The Titans, the Raiders, the Jets, the Commanders. There are a few decent teams in here, like the Steelers, the Chargers. You got the Rams here. That's obviously pretty impressive. They were a good team this year. The Patriots are doing fairly well for a team that's in the Super Bowl. So it's not like everybody else at the top here is an awful team, but you can see Seattle's doing great. And there are a few different reasons why that is, but as you can see, there's no one hard rule you can stick to here. You do have like one thing that the Seahawks are doing very well right now is they are not paying a ridiculous amount of money to a quarterback, but there are teams up here at the top that are like Justin Herbert is on a $250 million deal. The Chargers are still swimming in cap space. The Bengals are paying Joe Burrow a bunch of money. They still have a bunch of cap space. So it's not just that one thing. That's obviously a big part of it, but there are a few different things the Seahawks have done very well to create this situation. Now, every team can clear cap. That is important to understand here. Like, we're going to scroll down to the bottom of this list. You're going to see some teams that are ridiculously over the cap. Look at the Chiefs. Look at the Vikings. Look at the Cowboys, the Dolphins, the Browns. All teams that missed the playoffs, by the way, they're over the cap by massive amounts. They can all do things to clear cap space, and they're going to have to for very obvious reasons. But the Seahawks can do that too. Like, let's just take a look at the situation with the Seahawks cap space right now in terms of their active roster. They don't have a lot of players under contract for 2026. They only have 43 guys, and they're going to need more for sure. Like, you look at the this page, you can see that most teams have way more than 43 players. But by that same token, look at this. It's like Leonard Williams, about a $30 million cap hit. That's probably going to get redone. He's probably going to get extended. That cap number will get pushed out. Uchenna Nwosu, $20 million. There's no way we're going to bring Nwosu back on a $20 million cap hit with how he's played for the last 3 months. I think he might get cut. If he doesn't get cut, then it's going to be a much reduced cap number. So one way or the other, there's a lot of money to save there. Cooper Kupp, $17.5 million. I don't think we're going to bring him back at that price. Either he retires, we release him, or we redo the deal somehow. You've got Jason Myers, $7.25 million. That's going to get extended probably. Jaron Reed, he didn't do that much this year, $7.4 million. They might decide they'd rather save some money and let him go. And while we are potentially going to extend some, or excuse me, not extend at that point, but we are potentially going to sign some players back like Ken Walker, Reek Woolen, even maybe somebody like a Boye Mafe, although I kind of doubt that at this point. Kobe Bryant. Those guys are going to count for additional money against the cap. But one thing to keep in mind here, extensions on deals that went through 2026 in the first place are not really going to be affected that much. Like Devin Witherspoon is on a $10.1 million cap hit for 2026 right now. If we extend him, we don't have to change that number. I believe that we could, and we may, but we could keep that number the same. We could just say, look, we're going to leave the deal on the books right now as it is, and we're going to add several years to the end of the deal. We're going to append a bunch of additional years and additional money to the end of the current deal rather than mess with that current cap hit. Same with JSN, 4.6 million. We don't have to change that just because we extend him. So understand that that will not necessarily affect it. So there's going to be a lot of money to spend here. Just with what I went through, it's pretty easy to clear about 25 million in cap space. You don't even have to really overextend yourself. And then you're at 100 million. You don't have that many draft picks. Your draft pool, the money you have to pay your rookies is going to be very, very minimal. You can go out and sign big name free agents. You can make big trades for big time players. There's going to be an opportunity to really stack this team up in the offseason. And I think that if you take a look at this and you think about where the team is right now, very, very good, very, very young, very, very well-rounded, well-coached, all these other things, There's no team that is better positioned than this Seahawks team over the next several years. Like, who would you rather be as an NFL franchise? Who would you rather take control of right now if you were given the opportunity to? I don't think there's anybody. And like I said, there are going to be teams here that go that undergo massive cost-cutting measures to clear up a ton of cap. And by the time that's done, there are probably going to be some teams that have more cap space than us, but I just went through it. Clearing 100 to 100 mil is pretty easy. Okay. So that's what we got right now. That's the way things are looking. And the future's bright for the Seahawks, man. I mean, you do the math here. You clear out 100 million in cap. You can bring back Walker. You can bring back Woolen. You can bring back Bryant. You can trade for Max Crosby. You can sign Khalil Mack in free agency. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. You have to decide what you want to do. You have to decide what's smart to do. But there's not really going to be much of a limitation on what this team can do in the offseason. By the way, if the Seahawks finish the job in 8 days, there should be some players out there that are maybe thinking about ring chasing, and what better team to do it on than this one? Okay, I'm going to go and get on out of here. See you guys later. Probably the last video of the day. I'll be on Twitch later in all likelihood. But let me know what you think. There's going to be some money to spend. Now, the downside is when you have a lot of money to spend, the players that you sign typically want more money because they know you can afford it. But hey, that's a good problem to have as far as I'm concerned, as long as we're getting the good players. Go Hawks.